Who's hungry? Kitty kitties! Kitty kitties! That's pesto, shredded Brussels sprouts with sauteed mushrooms, and some eggs and bacon. Alright, YouTube, this is my first ever mukbang. I've always been a little bit embarrassed actually to stuff my face in front of people. I wanted to talk about a number of things while I eat. Yeah. The reason why I put this cat food at the front of the video is because it was one of the things that sort of triggered me into thinking that I might be really depleted in some nutrients and might need to eat some animal products, because at the end of my vegan stint, every single time I opened a can of cat food, my mouth would water and water and water. It was absurd. So, moving on from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I think about carnivorism, the whole meat-only diet movement, being accused of having an extreme diet right now. So, let me cut to that extreme diet. Here I have some wild blackberries that I foraged last year from my freezer. I'm still eating on these. I've got about 10 more pounds left. I spent a long time last year foraging wild berries so that I would have organic, high quality, high nutrient density foods to eat during the winter. I eat maybe about half a Tupperware full a day of this kind of fruit. If I'm not eating that, I might open up a can of my own home canned fruit. Now, I canned these in honey produced here regionally instead of sugar. And honey is a great way to preserve fruit as it has natural antibiotic, antifungal, and antiviral constituents in it. And I prefer honey to processed sugar. Today I am making a broth up. I like to do almost every week a soup of some sort. Today I'm going to make it out of this really nice high quality pastured beef oxtail. Let's get a good shot at that. 2 packages worth here. Beef oxtail is one of my favorite meats. It's filled with all sorts of collagen proteins and good fats. Alright, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted with a leaf blower? Oxtail, yeah, one of my favorite meats. So much fat, so much good collagen proteins. And I believe that if you are going to take the life of an animal, you should, without question, use the entire animal. So I'm going to get this right in here. I've got a couple leftover steak bones in there. And hopefully, there we go. Got some mushrooms and onions in there. We'll just slow cook that. I put a little bit of vinegar in, and at the end I'm going to put in some of this organic miso to give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of salt. Alright, what else do we have here in this extreme diet kitchen? Oh, organic asparagus. Very extreme. I've got some Brussels sprouts. They didn't have organic this week. I would have bought organic if they had. Here we have some apples and onions, which I'm going to stuff into these birds. I'm about to put these birds in the smoker. I've basted them on top with ghee, and I will do so as they smoke to get a nice crisp on the skin, to increase the vitamin A content, and to keep them nice and juicy. Next to my extreme birds, I have some extreme liver. This is pasture-raised, grass-fed only cow liver. And I'm going to smoke that on the grill too. I'm going to snack on that later while the birds are cooking. I really like grill smoked liver. Let's see what else my extreme kitchen has. I mean, clearly here I am eating vegetables, bacon and eggs. And the reason why I'm eating bacon and eggs tonight is because I'm actually kind of low on groceries. I need to go shopping. I haven't had the chance this week. It's been very busy. But, you know, the whole carnivore movement is very interesting. I think the likelihood that people will succeed on it is a higher likelihood than veganism, provided they're eating quality food. But I don't think that there's going to be a huge long-term success on it any more than any other super restrictive diet. Just because I'm playing around with carnivore-only days doesn't mean that I'm going carnivore. It's just kind of me testing some waters, seeing how I feel, seeing how my digestion is, etc. What I'm really enjoying right now is intermittent carnivore days. So maybe once or twice a week, I have an animal products only day. I'm still eating plenty of fruit, and like I've said before in previous videos, the fruit and meat days are perfect. And I was actually listening to a Chris Bell podcast, and Chris Bell, as you know, has done all of the Bigger, Stronger, Faster movies. And he has struggled with addiction and diet problems and so on. And he is also on the carnivore diet, but he eats fruit. And he is having phenomenal success with that. And I think, in my opinion, that's a very premium setup, because you get pectin fiber, which humans are actually well designed to absorb. Look that up. We actually absorb pectin fiber. You're talking about plant products that want to be eaten, so they don't have the anti-nutrients and the poisons in them, the lectins, you know, the goitrogens, and all of these kind of things that some of these other starches and greens have. And they have some very nice nutrients, nice hydration, and I think that they can actually complement a carnivore diet really well. And I think that that little bit of fructose, a lot of people say fructose is poison, but if you read the science on it, I'm not actually eating anything. Should I take a bite? Very good. If you read the science on it, you will see that fructose actually helps regulate glucose. It actually helps drive glucose into the cells. That's part of the biochemical reaction. So fructose actually helps, one, regulate your glucose. But that said, fructose naturally does not occur like high fructose corn syrup. It's in a natural balance to glucose. So, you know, having some fructose and glucose, one, will help you build muscles better, and two, will help you regulate your glucose levels. You know, to me, that just makes sense, and that's a lot of what I do. I tend to wake up, my average day, I wake up, I continue drinking water for a few hours until I feel well hydrated. Then normally I either work out fasted, or depending on my hunger of where I'm at, I may have an apple, maybe a cup and a half of berries, something along these lines. Then I work out. After my workout, I snack while I'm cooking dinner. I might snack on cheese. I might snack on fruit if I fasted. I might snack on some other types of vegetable fruits like peppers or cucumbers, maybe with some sort of fatty dip, or just by themselves. And then I have a very animal product focused meal. I have been not eating raw salads, and I've actually been feeling a lot better. not having those heavy fiber meals. And I've actually been, of the vegetables that I've been eating, making sure that they're heavily cooked and slow stewed. And I'm feeling so awesome. Now, this last week, I got a little bit of the crud that's going around work. I work where there's a lot of employees. I'm on a management team, and when something goes around, it travels, through all the employees. And I had something happen that has never happened to me before. I got this flu that's going around, this spring flu. I got a fever. I slept for 15 hours, and I never sleep that long. It's just not natural to me. I hate sleeping long periods of time, but this was like I didn't even have control over it. It's like I didn't wake up and hit the alarm and go back to sleep. I just went to sleep and I was out. I woke up, I felt fine. I felt like I had totally kicked the flu, and that's never happened to me before. I've always been the kind of person that when I get sick, I go down like the Titanic, and I thought the reason for that in the past was just heavy training, so constantly sort of pushing myself to the edge, wearing myself down. I have to question all of that now. So that was really interesting. And I'm back to, gosh, this is so good, and I'm hungry. I just worked out as well. Yum. Next weekend, and I will do a video on this, and I'll do an update. I'm doing a mock meet to prepare for my first powerlifting meet, and I will go through and I will test all of my 1 rep max, and we will see where I've gone in just 6 weeks of training. My strength is unlike anything I've personally ever experienced, and I know based on that what I'm doing is working. So, people say a lot of things. I had some guy say I'm bald, and it's true, I am bald. I'm bald because, one, I'm 44 and about to turn 45, and I'm actually not fully bald. But I keep my head shaved because I can cut it myself, and that saves me around $650 a year, which is more or less a quarter mortgage payment. So, I'm a very thrifty person. I want to pay the mortgage down. I want to pay my debt off so that I can retire early. I'm not going to pay someone to cut my hair. That's ridiculous. So, there's that. Plus, I'm also required by my job to be very clean cut. So, I just keep clean shaved now and clean shaved head. That was kind of funny. Accusing me of being bald. Like that's some real slight to a guy. Oh yeah, man, were you bald? Oh, I know guys who balded when they were 20, so I don't really understand why you're trying to insult me in that way. It's amazing how many vegans crawl out of the woodwork to insult me, or try to insult me. I'm not insulted. Yeah, I mean, you can keep going with it, but it's not something that really bothers me. I grew up with a lot of brothers, so you're gonna have to try harder. But here's the thing, and I think this is very telltale about vegans in general. I have never gone as a vegan or as a non-vegan to anybody's webpage on social media anywhere and insulted someone. That to me is childish. It's straight up childish. And I don't care what diet you're on. I mean, I might ask you some questions, or I might say, I don't observe you having the results that you say you are. But that's very different than insulting someone, name-calling, trying to belittle. And vegans are rampant in that department. And I think it shows the mentality. Certainly there's some carnists who fire back as well. But vegans are supposed to be compassionate. They're supposed to rise above. They're supposed to be changing the world. And I think it just goes to show how ridiculous, how immature all of these diet battles are. I mean, it's totally silly. It's one of the reasons why I don't really do that much on social media, and why I don't want to spend a lot of time there, but I do feel that I need to continue on with my personal story and just sharing my results, because I know for a fact that a lot of people, because of my lead, became plant-based, and I know a lot of people actually had problems because of it. And I feel a responsibility to address that and to not pretend like that didn't happen. You know how many ex-vegans out there just totally shut down their whole social media and were like, whoa, and just disappeared because they knew? I'm not going to do that. That's not right, in my opinion. I think that there's a little bit of a responsibility, and you have to face your truth, you know? And if the diet that you preached, that you let a bunch of people into, didn't work, you have to be honest with people. And I don't care if that's, you know, vegan diet, carnivore, what have you. You have a responsibility to people. So that is kind of why I'm continuing on. But more than that, I really want to encourage people to grow their own food. And I will be continuing on with that mission as well. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to say. I just kind of want to eat the crap out of my dinner because I'm starving. Whew, what a yummy dinner. Very satiating. This is something that I frequently had issues with on a vegan diet, eating a lot of food and then feeling good afterwards. I would just feel full, bloated, but not satiated. And if that's something you experience, that's probably a good sign that you're not getting what you need. The body is very good at sending you signals if you're smart enough to hear it. Somebody recently asked me if I track macros or nutrients anymore, and I don't feel the need to do that because I feel good and I'm functioning well and I'm making gains really fast and my immunity is good, so my teeth are strong, there's no sensitivity in my mouth, I sleep well. So you know, I don't feel like the need to. I tracked macros and micros when I was fruitarian and plant-based because I felt like it was needed. And that has to be encouraged so that people know that they're eating enough of the nutrients they need. Whether or not they're absorbing that is a whole other story, because we know that fiber disallows absorption of so many things. So it might look good on chronometer, but that doesn't mean jack shit if you're not getting it into your body. So no, I don't measure calories, I don't measure macros, I don't measure micros. I eat until I'm satiated. I don't eat if I'm not hungry, and that is the reason why I intermittent fast. I don't intermittent fast to lose weight or burn fat. I intermittent fast because I only eat when I get hunger signals. And that's a really important distinction. The last thing I want to do is starve myself. I think that goes against our biological hardwiring. I don't think that's healthy. Maybe if you're coming from obesity, some fasting might be important, or if you've had like a long history of alcoholism or something like that, that might give your body some time to do some repairs. I am not in that. You know, I've always been lean for the most part. I've always been healthy, and that's not where I'm coming from. There is no animal that I know of that will fast on purpose, with the exception of having some severe injury. And I've heard it said, and this is really common in the vegan community, and it really concerns me because as far as I'm concerned, it is either fully or borderline eating disorder, and that is, you know, the excessive fasting to heal. And then they say wild animals dry fast, or wild animals fast as soon as they're sick. And then I try to find the data on this, and I can't find any data on this. I have had an animal with severe internal bleeding, and they did not fast. They didn't take anything in for about 12 hours, and then they drank water. Not a lot, but they drank water. And then within 24 hours, they were eating. So maybe an animal with some sort of severe intestinal issues, just like when you get food poisoning, you don't really want to eat or drink much. That I can see. But just to say like an injured animal fasts, I'd really have to see the data on that. I think that that's talk, and I don't think that that's true. I think that vegans constantly are fasting in order to burn off the flub they're gaining. And especially for raw vegans or high starch vegans, because, you know, it's supposed to be the best diet. You're supposed to be vegan, skinny, super lean. And there is this push to sell the vegan diet, to sell the religion, and therefore lots of frequent fasting will keep you skinny. It also can be really detrimental if you're not getting the kind of nutrients and energy that you need, and that's like a whole other question. But I eat to satiety. I just eat, and when I get the signal like that's enough, that's when I stop eating. I don't care if it tastes good. I'm not going to keep eating after that. And I'm not trying to get bigger, so I'm not going to force feed like bodybuilders do. I just eat when I'm hungry, and I stop when I'm satiated, satisfied. And my results from that have been that I've naturally leaned down from veganism, and that I don't feel like I'm depleted in any way. So that's the end of this mukbang. Let me know your thoughts, your own experiences, pro, against, I don't care. Hit thumbs up. Let me know if you want more mukbangs. I'll show you some of the foods that I eat. It's very simple. I just eat a lot of pastured meats, some fruit, some veg. That's it. I'm going to be getting a lot of garden harvest soon, and I think I'll probably do a couple of permaculture mukbangs, which will be pretty fun. All right, see you next time.